Good morning, friends. Happy Sunday morning. Today is July 21st, 2024. Welcome to my weekly card tutorial. Wanted to just kind of go through some things first. So it's still bonus days. If you place an order online at StampinUp.com, for every $50, you earn $5 coupon that you can spend in August. So don't miss out on that. And Stampin' Up! Just announced yesterday free shipping on one day only. It is this coming Tuesday, July 23rd, on all orders $75 and more. So place an order on Tuesday, you get free shipping and you get the bonus days. You get the $5 coupons for every $50 you spend. And if you place at least a $50 order with me as your demonstrator, I will send out a card kit for you to make. I'm actually being joined by Tofu. Tofu. She was outside the door making lots of noise, so I let her come in. Yeah, so not a lot to talk about there. She'll probably make a lot of noise as I'm crafting, but we'll just see how that goes. Yeah, so StampinUp.com this Tuesday, bonus days, free shipping. I know I'll be placing an order. Free shipping? Yeah. So just see if anybody's joined me yet. How is everybody's Sunday going? Everybody's doing good. All right, so today we're going to make what I'm calling it a peekaboo front card. I've heard people call it the missing middle front card. A lot of demonstrators have made this this card. It's super, super easy. I didn't do the I wasn't able to do the banners with the card dimensions, so I will just give those to you when I switch down to the desk cam. And I guess if we're ready, I'm going to switch down to the desk cam. All right, let me just put that out. Sorry about that. So these are the supplies I'll be using today for this card. We're going to be using, let me switch I'm going to switch the ring light on after I go through these because the reflection on the products is makes it hard to see. So I'm going to be using the Layering Leaves photopolymer set. I'm really just using this one for this, the Sentiment Hello, the Bow Punch, which coordinates with this set. These two images, actually, you can punch these out here. So I'm going to be using both of those. I'm also going to be using the Cute Crochet 3D embossing folder. I don't know if you can see. You'll see how that it looks really busy on here. It's not. Trust me. It's very very subtle. I'm going to be using the Tinsel Gems 3-pack for the embellishments. We're going to be using Night of Navy ink, and I'm going to be using white cardstock, and the Designer Series paper that I'm going to be using is, let me just see, it is, let me just clear this out, sorry, so you can see this a little bit better. It's some paper from the Wildly Flowering. So there's the Wildly Flowering, it's a 12-pack. Sorry, 12 pack. It's a 12 by 12 pack. It comes with, and whenever you get these, all of the colors are listed right in the back. Let me see if I can actually get this. If I turn that ring light on, it makes it worse. Sorry. Let me just do that. So the Wildly Flowering, and it comes with the colors that are in it. They're all listed here, always on the back of these Designer Series papers. So you're going to find Crumb Cake, Early Espresso, Misty Moonlight, Moody Mauve, Mossy Meadow, and Wild Wheat in all of these colors. That's what you're going to be seeing in here. And I can just show you some of the papers real quick. They're all double-sided. So you're going to get, there's one design and there's another. There's your third design there. And then just a plain. That's the same. That's the same. Then you have this one, which is really the same design done in the Wild Wheat with this pattern on the back. And this one, which is one of my absolute favorites. You can see all of these patterns. And this one is, I love this one. This is the one with the crumb cake. This is beautiful. You can see these patterns on the back. There you go. So we're going to be using some pieces from that. Actually going to be using this side here. This side we're going to be using. All right. So for the card base, I'll go through the dimensions real quick for the card base, but I'm going to show you a real easy way to cut all of those pieces out of your one sheet of 8.5 by 11. So for the card base, we're going to need, move this out just for right this minute. We're going to need one sheet one piece that is 4 1/4 by 7. And I actually did it this way. I scored at 5.5. And then you're going to need one piece that is 4 1/4 by 2.5. And one piece that is 4 1/4 by 1.5. So this is going to make up your card base. Okay. So how I got these 3 pieces for my card base, easy peasy. Instead of cutting 3 separate pieces or measuring out the 3 separate pieces, the way I did that was I took my paper trimmer and I cut my card base on the 8.5 edge, the edge that's 8.5. I cut it in half, so 4 1/4, and then I scored it at the 5.5. And then I took, because now this is 4 1/4. Now I'm just cutting off my 1.5 inch piece and my 2.5 inch piece. And what I'm left with is my 7 inch piece. So that was it's already scored for me where it needs to be scored. So that's how I did the card base, got all of the pieces for the card base. All right. And then just give this a really good grease. All right. My inspiration card out. So this is actually, if you want to see what it looks like, this is the card we're going to be making. The reason it's called the missing middle or peekaboo is because it's actually missing the middle of the card. Well, not missing it. There's that. Okay. So for your designer series paper, you're going to need, and you can make your own size. If you want to do this your own size, you can do this your own size. I like having a really narrow border around my DSP. So I cut my DSP at 4 1/8 by 1 3/8. Lord. Too much. I just got a brand new multi-purpose glue open because the one I was using seemed to be getting very low. So I thought, well, I better get a new one so I don't run out on camera. But then I just got that smushed all over. So I'm just going to layer this on here, and I'm looking at these 3 edges here, and I'm just going to do, I'm looking to make sure I have an even border around all 3 of those. And just give that a good press down, let that set. And by looking at these 3 edges here, you're going to get an even border on that side. So I don't know if you can see that. Okay. So then I'm going to come in with my other piece of DSP. This one's going to go here, but I'm not going to adhere this one yet. I'm going to do something a little bit different with this one so that I can create this look of having like a floating elements. So what I did was I used some Night of Navy cardstock, and I took the bow punch and I just punched some of those images out. I did two punches, so I got 2 images of each, because that's the bow punch will do 1 of each. So what I'm going to do, get those. This is going to be that bridge piece. So I also have 1 piece of the basic white cardstock. Again, just 1 more piece that I'm going to layer on this middle piece. So this is just going to be a little bit smaller. So this one measures 4 1/8 by 2 3/8. And this is the piece that I am going to emboss. So the Cute Crochet embossing folder is a 3D embossing folder. So just see if you can know how well you can actually see that. I put my hand behind it. You can see a little bit of the design pretty well. So I'm going to go ahead and emboss this piece. I'm just going to get my base plate. And when you're doing the base plate, this is on the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. The base plate actually tells you what your sandwich configuration is going to be, which is great. I love that. So I'm just going to put this in. I want this to be relatively straight. I don't want my design to be all weird and crooked. So I'm going to use this line at the bottom of this is the front plate where the Stampin' Up! Logo is. I'm going to use that line, and I'm just going to line the bottom edge of my paper up with that. And I'm going to close that, put that on there. And when you're doing the 3D embossing, you just need the base plate and the specialty plate number 4, which is this one here. And that plate's always going to go on the top. I'm just going to roll that through my embossing machine. I apologize. It's not actually, I don't have room on my desk to bring the machine in. So We'll just do that. So there is that embossed piece. I don't know. Oh, that's a really good angle there. You can actually see the embossing, and you can see it's not really that busy. So I'm just going to take this and I'm going to layer that on this, but actually I'm not going to do that just yet. Let's just do a couple other things first. Let's stamp our greeting. So I'm just going to take, this is just, I mean, I just have this small 2.5 by 2 1/4, I think it is, piece of scrap paper, the basic white, that I'm going to stamp my image on. And I'm using a die from a retired set, Timeless Arrangements. So I just want to make sure that the scrap piece of paper is big enough to fit my die. And obviously big enough to fit around your sentiment. So I'm just going to, and yes, my block is too big for the sentiment, but it's the one I had. So I'm just going to come in here and I'm going to stamp. Just like that. And then I'm going to come in with my die. Get my base plate again here. And so with the base plate on the die cut and emboss machine, again with the directions. So I know I'm using thin dies. So I'm going to use the base plate 1, the plate 2, and 2 of the number 3 cutting plates. So there is my plate 2, which also conveniently has the directions, the sandwich directions. I'm going to put my first cutting plate 3. I'm going to close my ink pad before I get it all over me. I'm going to come in and do, so just a quick tip too, if you do have an embossing machine, a die cut and embossing machine, it's good to flip your cutting plate from one side to the other, and also, from this side to that side, just kind of flip it all each time you cut. It will keep your plate from getting too warped. It's also important, you can see I've used this one mostly, I don't know if you can see that, but I've used this one mostly in the middle, just because it's new. So I've been using it there. So I'm going to actually flip this around this way. I'm going to put my sentiment up here, and I'm putting it, if you try to run it through this way with that long flat edge, it's going to be harder to crank through. So I'm just putting mine at a little bit of an angle. I'm going to hold that down. I'm just going to use a Post-it to put it in place. And I'm going to roll that through my machine. So this is what I've got now, my sentiment. Beautiful. And then I just have a piece of Night of Navy cardstock that's 2 1/4 by 1 1/2. And it's really just whatever size you do for your sentiment, you just want to create that little bit of a border around your sentiment. So that's all I did here. It just is enough just to have a little bit of a border around there. So I am going to now start to construct this card. So let's put some multi-purpose glue there. Let's layer this on to our Night of Navy. Let that set for just a second. And then we're going to come in with the rest of it. So the way that this is going to go together, this piece of white cardstock, the 1.5 inch piece, is going to go down here. This is going to be layered on top of it. And then this is going to be layered on top of this. So I want a few elements down here on my cardstock. Now, this is going to depend on where you put your missing middle, right? If you can put it in the center if you want, you can put it over on the side, you can put it on this side, whatever you want. You can put it anywhere you want. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on this side, and I'm going to have elements like the floating elements on this side. So I want to know basically where I'm going to put that. I want to line this bottom up, and I just had, you can do, whatever you want to do, but I found that in order to keep this lined up while I was doing all of this, I just got a little clip and just put that on so that that would stay in place while I was doing the rest of this. So I'm going to put, and it actually will hold this too for me where I want to put that in place. All right, so this is just going to be so that I can put these elements on. Now, what I decided to do for the elements is I just used a little bit of my Stampin' Seal right here, just a little dab, just so it will hold the elements for me while I'm doing all of the rest of it. So I'm just going to put this one in here, angle that just a little bit, and then we'll put this one here like that. And you can put, if you wanted to put some others there, if you wanted to do different colors in there, you certainly could. I think 2 is good enough there, so I'm just going to do the 2. All right. So now what I'm going to do, oh, hi, Luann. I am going to put my multi-purpose glue on the back of this card, and I'm going to try to get as close to the edges as possible. A little bit of glue goes a long way because you don't want it to smush out. I'm going to do that. Pick that up, and then I'm going to layer this one on the same way. The multi-purpose glue will hold these elements in much better than if you use a tape runner. That's what I have found. There's just enough wiggle room with the multi-purpose glue to give that a really good press right there. You get that right in there. All right. I can't believe I haven't gotten glue all over my fingers yet. I always get glue all over me. All right. So I'm just going to line this back up again. So Luann, the multi-purpose glue is from Tombow, and I mean they sell it at Stampin' Up, but you can get it on you can get it on Amazon. You can get it at local, the local craft stores. Tombow is sold pretty much everywhere. I love it. I like this because it's got a finer tip to it. It also has a more of a I don't know, like a almost like rubber cement. It reminds me of that. It's a flatter tip so that you can kind of smush it around a little bit. I will say I don't think I've ever used that side. I always use the fine tip. One of the other things that I've done is I bought these precision tip. So this isn't even, oh, it's dirty. This isn't even finer tip. for all of those really delicate things. And I just put the Tombow liquid glue right in there. All right. So I've got my clip back on there. I'm going to assemble this one. Now on my sample card, I had one of the elements. Place that right there. I had one of the elements coming off of the centerpiece. I had this one right here coming off the centerpiece. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to grab my seal. This is from Stampin' Up. Just put a little dot there that will hold the floating element until I get the glue on there. And then I'm just going to figure out where I want that placed. I probably could have put that down a little bit more. Morning, Mother. All right, so put that down there. And just layer that where I want that to go, just so that the flower element will be just hanging off of the edge of this. That's what I want right there. All right. Now I'm going to put my multi-purpose glue on here in the back of this. Again, as close to the edges as you can. And because this is embossed, I like to put a little bit in the middle there also. And I'm just going to layer this on there. And yep, got glue on myself. Should have known. All right. So now I'm going to come in, and I got glue on the back of there. And I'm just going to put some multi-purpose glue on the top of this. And I'm going to layer that on here. I'm going to place it on the card, making sure that I've got it, that this is nice and even this way. And I'm just going to hold that in place. And I'm going to pick this up, and a little bit of glue on my work surface here. Sorry. So I'm opening the card up because this bottom piece is already being held in place with my clip. So I'm going to just go ahead and add a little bit of multi-purpose glue to the very bottom of that. And when I close my card, it will adhere where it needs to go. Just give that give that a second. Boom, boom. Okay. And then I'm going to come in on my sentiment, and I'm just going to pop that up on this card on dimensionals. And you can put however many you want. I'm just going to put 3 in the middle here. Like that. Peel those backings off. Going to position that on here where I want it, right there in the center. Like that. So now I can take this clip off because now my card is held together. So that. And I do want to just come back with, I like the inside and the outside of the card. I like them to be, I like them to interact with each other. So I'm just going to come in with, these are the butterflies from the Painted Lavender stamp set. And I'm just coming in with my Night of Navy. And I'm going to place the butterflies somewhere in here so that it looks like the butterflies are interacting with these flowers. So it's right about there. You can see that now. And close this up, or I will have ink and glue all over me. that. And then I'm just going to come in with my Tinsel Gems. These ones, I think I tried to show these the last time. They didn't really show up. It's like there's, you really can't see it. Maybe in that pink you can a little bit, but there's like little, it's almost like little glitter in there. They're so cute. They're very cute. But anyway, I am going to put some Tinsel Gems on this card. So I'm going to put one. Now, because of this particular embossing folder or any of the embossing folders, it's embossed and debossed. So you want to try to fit your elements. You want to make sure that they're small enough to kind of fit into a debossed section. I don't know if you can see that. Can't really see that very well. Because if not, it won't stick on the card well. So because of that, normally I put 3 on. I'm only going to put 2 on this card because they're really, I mean, there is a spot down here I could probably put 1 on, but I really like, well, why don't we do that? Why not? We'll do it. Why not? There, right in the center. All right. And then I'm just going to, so I'm actually going to take my bone folder and I'm just going to give that, each one of them just a little press to make sure that they're on there really well. And voila, that is our card. That is the card. And so it opens. Oh, these moved on me. I didn't let that glue dry very good, did I? I'll just move them a little bit like that. I'll add a little bit more glue onto there after. But there's that. So let's move all of this aside. And let me just show you some of the other cards that I made with this. Well, you saw this one here, this first one here. It's basically the same card, just using different designer series paper. This is I can't remember what that one was called. It's no longer in the catalog, retired. So there's that one. And then this is the same exact one using the boho blue for the card base and using white for the butterflies. Let me bring that white. And then I did, just because I wanted to do some in different colors, I did this one here with the purple and purple. This one, and I put, little bouquet here, did some stamping and embossing here, some other die cutting. And instead of using designer series paper, I used the So Swirly embossed paper there. So there's that one. Then, there's no reason to keep, I mean, you can make this as simple or as difficult as you want. It's a really simple fun fold card. But I decided that I didn't want to do things straight. So I would do things at an angle. So I made this card at an angle. So you can see the missing middle is actually at an angle. And I used the Dashing Designs embossed paper here. And this is all with the layering leaves. So we had the Sending Hugs and some of the stamped images there. And then I just did a pop of the Petunia Pop to give it a little pop of color using these little dots here. And there's that one. And then I thought, well, why just do it one way? Do it landscape also. So I did this one. This is a very old stamp set from Stampin' Up! It's 20 years old. So I did an old embossing folder that I had here. I did that. So this one just opens this way. But it looks like the mittens are hanging, suspending. So that one, did that one. And then I did, well, so I did this one. This is actually my husband's Father's Day card that I did with some of the new paper and an old stamp set that I had. Father's Day there. Did that one. And then the last one I have is, this one is made using the stamp set Latte Love. And what I did with this one is, this one's landscape also, but I did two elements that are actually holding the card together, the two coffee cups. And so when you receive the card, the inside sentiment is actually also the sentiment on the front of the card. So, and no, I didn't spill anything. This is an actual stamp that's in the Latte Love stamp set. And I used the Dotted Circles embossing folder on that. So those are all of the sample cards that I did. Easy peasy, unfold. But you know, anybody who gets this card is going to just love this card. It's beautiful. All right. So let me switch back to the MeCam. Here I am. So let me know what you think of this card. Let me know if you're going to make it. If you make the card, post a picture of it in the comments of this video so that I can see it. I would love to see your creations, your take on this card. And again, once more, just don't forget, bonus days ends July 31st. So that's an extra $5 coupon for every $50 you spend on StampinUp.com. And this coming Tuesday, July 23rd, Stampin' Up! Is actually offering free shipping. So you want to get in on that. And let's just see. Let me take a look at comments here. Oh, yes, Mom. I did take a picture of Nora's card. I have a picture of that. Yeah, I take a picture of all my cards. I can give the cards away, but I can still keep them by taking a picture of them. So that's what I do. And did anybody have any other comments for me? If you don't, then I'm going to sign off. I hope that you have a great week. And like I said, if you make the card, drop me a comment so that I can see it. I really would love to see how you interpret this card. So yeah, other than that, enjoy what's left of your weekend. Enjoy your week, and I will see you next Sunday. Have a good day, everyone.